Hola Colchoneros, welcome to Athletic Fanatics. And we were just gone for like a few days, and suddenly there's a lot of news to cover up for us. And I mean, like, the good thing is, it's a good news, like it's not like we're gonna talk about something bad, so it's good news. Carlos Buquero, or Bucero, again, how are you gonna pronounce his name? This guy is cooking, actually. I mean, like, hands down. I mean, apologies, man. Like, you just took it seriously. Uh, Seriously, I mean, like, this guy has, like, for me, like, he's changed my opinion because Carlos Buquero is doing pretty well this transfer window. And I mean, like, you can just see it's like, like, if we can't get this, fine. Suddenly, we're on the move to the next one, and then bang, here we go. Within
Yeah.
hours, actually, the way the deals are going, actually, it's really, really new to me. Like, I've never seen Atletico de Madrid going this fast for any player. I think the last time I saw this was with Kieran Trippier from Tottenham, because nobody knew, and then suddenly, like, it was like Kieran Trippier is an Atletico de Madrid player, and it
Hmm.
came all of a sudden. And now, like, the deals are just coming like this. Like, okay, like, it's like, like, we'll have a target for like a few days, like 3 4 days, and then you'll get to know, like, oh, like, like, there's a gap between the valuation, and then suddenly we change to our second target, and like we just achieve it within hours. Which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is like the summary of this transfer window. Pick a target, go for it. Not working, take a 180-degree turn. Bam, go on with something else. I mean, wow. Like, I think for Atleti, like, for us, for Atletico de Madrid fans, I mean, we are having a great time this transfer window. It's like we have news to cover up every single day, actually. I mean, like,
Hmm.
like, we do, obviously, like, we work, both me and Saint Geek, so like it's difficult to, like, like, cover all these things. But again, I
Yeah.
think, like, we have to, like, cover now. Like, we have to do overtime or something for you guys. So yeah, make sure you subscribe our channel as well, since we put in that hard work as well for you guys. So yeah, make sure you do that, and share it with your friends as well. Let's just start, actually, with our signing of the day, which happened today only. And then again, same way, St. Keeks is like, just like we were just talking about Renato Viega for a few days. Like, oh, Renato Viega is close. Chelsea is asking for 40 million valuation. Atletico is going move. The negotiations are going well. Atletico de Madrid is advancing. It's close, and then personal terms are agreed. Everything is going on good, and then you expect Renato Viega to be an Atletico de Madrid player, and then suddenly, here comes David Hancko moves to Al Nassr, collapses, and Atleti is in the race for David Hancko as well. It came literally, I think, like, for me, it came in my evening time, and by, like,
Yeah.
right now, like, it's night, and like it's already done. Like, it's even announced by the club itself. I mean, to be honest, for this one, like, I really hope, like, it was like, like, we were going for both of these players. But again, I think, but then I was thinking, like, going for both of these players doesn't make sense. Again, both are left footers. We need to fill that left center back position. And to be honest, for me, like, let's say if I have to, like, pick one out of these two, maybe I would have gone for Renato Viega. Like, I'll explain why. I'll explain why.
Hmm.
But, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy for David Hancko as well. Like, like, David Hancko, again. He's This guy is 27. He was the captain of Feyenoord last season. He has an amazing season with Feyenoord. But I didn't understand, like, why he has to move to Al Nassr for some reason. Like, I didn't get it, to be honest. But anyway, now he's back, and, like, I mean, imagine, like, like, you're going to, like, one moment you're going to Saudi Arabia, and then suddenly, like, you come to the best club in the world. That's us. I mean, life. That's life for you. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for David Hansko. I mean, I've seen him play. I really, like, watched him closely against Man City when they won Feyenoord with that amazing win, where I think David Hansko scored a goal as well, and he was really, really good against Erling Haaland that day. And this guy is actually good. And since we've been talking about this for a long time, like, Atletico de Madrid, we lack defenders who have good pace. David Hansco, he has good pace. So finally, we're signing a defender which has good speed. Like, who can actually, let's say, go one on one with Kylian Mbappe and all. Because again, this guy has speed. I mean, like not obviously like
You
at the
you
same level as
you're
Mbappe.
still not gonna catch Mbappe, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
get
mean,
what
like
you're
still,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
obviously, like like not like as fast as Mbappe, but like still, this guy is quick. I
considerable.
mean,
Yeah.
this guy is quick, so that's what I'm saying. And I mean, this is really, really important nowadays, to be honest, because like most of the tackles we get, like they are pretty quick. So it's really good to have a defender like that. And I mean, again, I'm really happy for David Hancko. So I'll tell you guys, so what was the situation? Why didn't we go for Renato Viega? So what I heard was there was a valuation gap. So Chelsea was asking for 40 for Renato Viega, and Atleti was insisting on 30 plus add-ons. So, and then Atleti saw an opportunity in David Hancko because again we were interested in him last season as well. I think like if we had some more financial power, we could have signed David Hancko instead of Longley. I mean, wow, the situation could have been much much different by now. But
Mm.
anyway, so finally, he was our number one target last season, and again this season, like Atleti saw an opportunity, and then again it came 10 million cheap as well from Renato Viega deal, and then finally we signed David Hancko, and I think David Hancko is again he's the type of player like who gives his all on the pitch, and again this guy 6'2", great left foot. Again, he's in his prime as well, so we can see the best version of him. We just hope like he adapts quickly to La Liga. And
I
moving on
imagine
to the
he.
next one. Yeah,
I
sorry, go
imagine he
on.
will. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. I imagine he will though. I think a lot of his traits do uh convert well for what we need in our team right now. He's good. He's a very good passer. He's good with long balls. He has good dribbling and is able to, as we just mentioned, he has a good top speed. A lot of the things that is good about Hanko kind of makes sense as to why we originally targeted him. My In terms of Renato Vega, obviously I was a bit excited. I was like, my initial problem was I think I mentioned it on my Twitter account, which is like I was a bit disappointed because it felt like our backline needed a lot of help because functionally we had before the signing I should say we had Longley, um, Romero, and then Robin Lenormand. And it's like there's three centre backs. We clearly need one, if not two.
Did you say Romero?
Oh my gosh, did I?
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I
Sorry,
hope. I
that's the
hope.
too
Yeah.
many times. Oh, sorry, Jimenez.
I
My
I
bad.
hope you can. Yeah, I hope you can see the future. I hope that's on.
But yeah, it's Jimenez, Robin Lenormand, and then Longley, and it's like that's three signings. Jimenez is an injury prone player. He's had his best ever season in terms of lacking injuries last season. Ironically, it didn't also coincide with his best form of his best ever form, but we'll hope that he'll be able to get back to his form as well as losing the injuries, and we'll be get our leader in the back line again. And then you have Robin Lenormand, similar situation where he had an unfortunate injury, didn't get to play as much, whatever. But the main problem was we wanted functionally a player who was on the level of Jimenez at his best, and that was in our eyes somebody like Hincapié or somebody like Romero, who is undisputed, right? But
I think again. I think like the Romero deal. I think this came as a blessing in disguise, to be honest. Because again, look, what
mm,
we actually need was like a left-footed center back, and I mean, I understand Cuti Romero being the top priority because again he's Argentinian, he's one of the world's best defender as well.
mhm.
But I think like we did need a left-footed center back unless and until like someone like Jimenez leaves the club or Lenormand leaves the club, then Cuti Romero makes sense to me. I mean, like we already have those two players over there, and then we have again we actually need a left center back because again we only had Longley, and then we all know about Longley. Like sometimes like he can play a really, really good game, and sometimes he'll be just like way off. So
Mhm.
we definitely need a left footed center back, and then we have finally found one, which again is David Dansko. Piero Incapi, I think again the same thing. The operation could have been expensive because again, like, if we can't pay 40 for Renato Viega, there's no way we could have paid more than 50 or 60 for Piero Incapi.
Mhm.
So I mean, this is a much better option, David Hancko, which is again a good cheap option, but again a very good option as well. So
Cheap,
yeah, so
cheap
that
is cheap isn't a strong word because when you look at the rest of La Liga, they can't
oh
spend like
yeah,
yeah. So, but in the sense of like if you're looking at the rest of Europe, yeah, this is relatively cheap for a very decent, a very not decent, very good center back. I am not against Vega or Hanko. I think they're both very good players. I was just thinking of it from the point of view of we need a lot of help, and I looked at somebody like Romero as somebody who could help in that immense way. Even though, as you said before, we still needed a left-footed centre back. It kind of does. As you say, this whole summer has painted a very different picture because when you start off with Longley, the disappointment kind of starts immediately. Where it's just like, oh, okay, you're starting off with confirming Longley of all people. I don't understand, but at this point, obviously, the situation has changed. Um, I'm not sure if the Renato Vega deal is entirely off because a lot of the reports, like Fabrizio and Matteo Roberto, have both said it's on hold, which is not usually what it you like the terminology used when they talk about the Robertson deal. It was done. We're not going back on it. Iteo or, for instance, Arezzo, all of these other deals is like, oh, we're not in part of it anymore. This is the first time we've ever heard the term on hold, so we'll see what happens with that. But importantly, as you were saying, we really do needed somebody with pace, right? Ruggieri, which we mentioned before, like I did a little research, and it's like his top speed is just under 35 kilometers per hour, which is actually fairly fast. It's just maybe his acceleration isn't all there, but his top speed is on the higher end for a lot of these players. So he's around the same speed as Alvarez at full pace. Or
And I mean, like they're young as well, so like it's not like they're gonna go down. Like they can go,
the
like they can
evaluation
improve.
can't,
Yeah,
well, no,
exactly. They
it
can
can't go
improve
down.
as well.
But last time that we have played almost every one of the young players that we've bought recently, would be it Samu, where we bought for 6 million, eventually sold him in total for 32 million. We bought Vermeeren for 20 million, sold him for 25. We bought Cunha for 30, sold him for 50. You know what I mean? Like it makes more sense to pay for players who are young, typically, not always. Because if things go wrong, I can always just sell it. Even look at Chelsea. Chelsea don't want Vega in their team because of what they need right now. Not that he's bad, but what they need right now is not Vega. They bought him for 15. They're trying to sell him for 40. You know what I mean? The whole it's kind of because of the fact that he's still 20, 21. He's clearly very, very talented and he clearly has a very high level of, well, a very good level, I should say, at least. I'm not sure how high his level is. And it seems like we'll see what happens with him. But Hancko, I'm happy with. We'll see what else happens in centre back. But for now, I'm content. We still have only 4 centre backs. If things go wrong, which they can and do often do at Atletico, we may panic a bit. But part of me does also see the possibility of us getting another centre back, maybe having a centre back from the academy be in and out of the squad because we might go to a back three. That might be me pushing kind of a narrative a bit, but we have a lot of signings coming in, and I think maybe 4-4-2 is not our best formation when it comes to incorporating all the signings. Maybe a 3-4-3 is better. Cardoso and Barrios in the middle, maybe something else. We'll talk about it at a later time.
We'll talk
But
about later. Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what happens with our centre backs. I'd like to see. I'm very excited with our preseason. Our first match is in, I think, a little over a
It's
week now, 10 days from now. I think
yeah,
or so.
it's with Porto. Yeah, it's with Porto.
Yeah,
I think it's on the 2nd of August, I guess.
yeah. So we'll hopefully be able to cover that when the time comes. For now,
Sure.
next
It's
topic.
good. Exactly, exactly. It's good. Like, look, like we've been talking about this. Like new signings, they don't get the preseason with us, and like right now, the moves we're making, it's everyone is, like going for the preseason. So it's good, and
Mhm.
we still haven't have that that traditional dinner at San Rafael as well. Like when we used to
Right.
have that. Yeah. So still. So like imagine the players cutting the pigs in that one because of the players we have this summer. But I think it will be like the former players because last time Gallagher, Sorloth, they didn't get to you know go through that tradition. So maybe I think maybe they'll be the one this time because otherwise they're gonna be a hell lot of pigs for this summer. But anyway, for me, let's just. I'm gonna ask you a question. Like, are you happy that David Hancko came, or I think some of the fan bases, like, like maybe we should have gone for Renato Viega, or maybe, like they're a little bit, like, I would say, in a mixed zone. Like they don't know like whether they should be happy or sad because Renato Viega is on hold now. So are you happy with David Hancko, or are you or
I'm
would you
happy
have
with
preferred?
I'm happy with Hanko. I think I did want Vega because I wanted to have a little Portuguese camp with him, Lino, and Cardoso, but we'll talk about it later. But I'm not sure if Lino is going to stay per se. And even then, um, I think Hanko he's in his prime right now. He's 27. He has shown a very good level in the Champions League before during the season. So I'd like to see, and hopefully we'll be able to get to see a lot of his best qualities for us this season coming here.
Exactly. So this was, I was just coming back to it because again, for me, this, I think this is a much better deal, David Hancko. But saying that, I would say like we should still go for Renato Viega. Now, first, like let me tell you guys like why this is a much better deal. Because again, look, when we talk about this, Renato Viego is still young. Like he still doesn't have that experience. David Hancko, he has that. Like he's played in Champions League, he's played against the best teams. Again, he has that European experience as well with the national team. So this
Vega
guy has
has the same
experience.
thing though. Vega just won the he just won the Nations League with
Nations,
Portugal, and then
yeah,
he
but
had the
again,
Champions League
again,
with Juventus as well.
again, look at the minutes he did this season with Juventus and Chelsea. So, I mean, it would have been a risky take, like for example, to signing, let's say, a 21-year-old starting centre back. So David Dansko, like we all know, like he'll go walk, like, he'll walk into the starting
Hmm.
lineup easily. So in that manner, I think like this is a much better signing for Atleti.
Hmm.
Saying that, because then we need some experience at the back line. Because again, Rogeri is young, and then Marcus
Pubill.
Llorente, obviously, Marc Pubill, which we'll talk about. Again, he's young as well. And then we needed someone like, we need like an experienced defense, like as defenders, you need them experienced. Okay. You can
I agree.
give, okay, like you can give those few minutes in like in different matches, for example, like the teams who just got promoted to La Liga, you can give them minutes in that manner. But
Hmm.
anyway, now, why should we go for Renato Viega? Because again, I think Renato Viega is a kind of player like you can literally play anywhere, left back, left wing back, you can play him center back, you can play him defensive midfielder. I mean, this
Hmm.
guy can be our next Marcus Llorente, the way I see it,
Hmm.
because this guy can play several positions. This guy is technical as well,
Hmm.
and this guy is a beast. Like look at the size of this thing. It's like, and especially at this young age, I mean, I don't know what did he eat during his childhood, or how did his parents make him, because that guy is, I mean, that guy is looks like he's gonna eat La Liga strikers for breakfast, the way he, he is. But again, talking about this, like I say, I think this can be the next Marcus Llorente, because of the fact that he can play several positions. He's fast. He's like
Robust. He's
very
particularly good with defensive
exact
duels.
exactly. And then especially with aerial duels as well, and then again he's very technical as well. Really, I mean, like you won't get a much better replacement for Marcus Llorente for the future, because
Hmm.
again, like we have Marcus Llorente on the right hand side, we can have someone on the left hand side as well.
Mm.
Perfect signing for Atletico Madrid, Renato Viega. But again, the deal is on hold. We have to see uh, how things happen. But I would like for him to be Atletico de Madrid player. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Again, this one. This happened yesterday. Like it went so quick. Like I'll tell you guys. So we were talking about his RSO, right, for a few days, because again with Athletic Bilbao, the deal was going on. Again, with that topic, his RSO or Marc Pubill. Look, we're looking for a second option right back. His RSO for me, second option. I wouldn't have minded, to be honest. I mean, he's 27 as well. He has the La
No,
Liga
he's 25.
experience. No, he's 27. Wait, hang on.
No,
Yeah, no,
he's just a wrestler. No, he's 25.
okay,
That's I know.
26. 26.
Oh wow, he's
26.
in 26.
26.
Yikes. Okay.
Okay, 26. There you go. So he's also again. Look, he's young. It's not like he's old. He's young. For
Yeah, yes.
12 again for the second option, not a bad deal at all. Not a bad deal at all. But then something happened. Osasuna and Athletic Bilbao, and then Athletic Bilbao paid those 12, and then suddenly the deal was closed, and then the talks were like Atletico de Madrid is very very upset with Osasuna, the way they handled this, and then Atletico went on. Literally, they leveled up with Marc Pubill, I would say, because again, as a second right back option, Marc Pubill is even like a much better option because again, this guy you can prepare him for the future as well. Again, 6'2", he's fast, and again, this guy is he's not afraid to make challenges, and this guy is technical as well. So another good signing, I would say, especially with the fact that we got him for again almost similar price as he's RSO. But again, he doesn't have that experience, so we have to develop him a little bit. With his RSO, I think it would have been easy because again the guy is already 26. Again, I wouldn't have mind any of these guys to be honest, but Mark Pubil, I'm much happier for him because of the prospect he has for the future, because he can turn into a very very good player for the future. I was just, I was just checking him on YouTube while this was going on. Like, Atleti is interested in Mark Pubil. I was just checking him on YouTube. Like, I was checking the matches from last season, especially that
Mm-hmm.
match against Real Madrid, where Real Madrid robbed Almeria. I was
Mm.
checking those matches, and I was like, wow, okay, this guy is actually good. And then I was just checking a few matches of La Liga Hypermotion as well, and like I didn't even like finish a few of those matches, and suddenly it was like literally Atletico signed Marco Villar, and I'm like, what the hell? Give me time to like reflect on it. That was so
I
quick.
checked the time. It was 16 minutes. We were reported interest and then signing. 16 minutes.
I mean, wow! Imagine that. Like seriously, like I didn't even get time to like look at this player, like much more closely. Like wow. But trust me, guys, this guy is good. He has a good potential going up front. But again, for me, either he's Ariso or either him. I don't think like it much would have changed. Like I would have preferred any of these two. But Mark Pubil, I'm much happier because again he's 6'2", especially 6'2", and especially we can play him as a center back as well for future. We can train him to be a center back as well. So in that manner, like we can make him versatile as well. In that sense, I like this deal much better than his RSO because again we can play him in multiple positions. With that, like I mean, like with Atletico de Madrid, like you have to be a player who can play in multiple positions. It's simple.
Be a little flexible.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mark Pubil as in cakes?
In regards to the general deal with his, I think I've said this before. I wasn't too high on the his Arresto deal. You were at the time of when we originally talked about it. He was 25. He's 26 now, but um, I don't think the age is the real problem itself. It's more so. I think it doesn't make sense to sign. It didn't in my head at the start of the transfer window. There's a lot of key positions that we needed to focus on, right? And a secondary right back didn't seem really scream a position that needed to change. It seems that there's a bigger thing at play, which we'll talk about later. But if you are going to replace a right back and you want him to be a secondary right back, right? To me, it only makes sense that you have somebody who can eventually succeed Llorente, um, and be a really top tier right back. There's a fair few options out there. We have one in our academy as well, right? Which with the current theme of how most of this transfer season has set up, I believe that might also be in the plans as well. I think Llorente. I think besides maybe a few of the core players, there's very few players who aren't already with succession plans being put into place. That makes sense. But Pubil is a player who I've watched for some years now. I think both of us have seen him in Almeria. I got to see him in the Olympics last year with Spain, where they won alongside Bayana and Barrios, which seem to be collecting Olympic gold medalists right now. Um, we did that with Cunha, by the way. Cunha won the Olympics, and we bought him, which is another. Maybe there's a reason that we're going after these players, but He's a really good player. He's tall, as you mentioned. He's like 190, so he's just on the verge of 6'3", but he's 6'2", like very fast. Strangely, very good with his feet, with dribbling and these other things. He's a little bit shaky defensively, but if there's a place to come to learn to be better defensively, you've come to the best place and you've come to the best coach. Because Trippier in Tottenham is not Trippier after with Atletico, if that makes sense. Like those are two very different players.
True,
So
true, true.
if you came here to learn that, this is where you learn. And I think if there's a place to develop a young Spaniard who wants to be somebody who can really take, I think the right back position is a area in the Spanish national team which is of kind of a sketchy situation. Pedro Porro is not particularly good. Carvajal's knee was basically blown up because he got several ligament tears at the same time last season. We don't know what level he's going to show up at this time. And then Minguez has been all right. So getting somebody who can really be a successor, like the names in my head were Marc Pubill, Ivan Fresneda, and then maybe, I don't know, somebody else along those lines. So it's just like, these are the names I'm thinking of. And then we actually managed to sign them. And I was like, oh, nice. We got a really good prospect. Cool. So I'm happy with it. I think there's very few names in my head that could really say, yeah, this is going to definitively be better. And also for the price tag as well, really good. And we also managed to sneak it away from Wolves after they did it to us last season. So gotta get back. Great stuff.
True. I mean, this guy, Marc Pubill, this guy reminds me of Guardiola a little bit. Like, literally same physique, good technical skills. I mean, like, he's much, maybe,
Guardiola's a
like,
bit.
like, like, maybe, like, I think, like, pace-wise, maybe he's a little faster than Guardiola, maybe. But, yeah, I mean, the way the Pep has been playing Guardiola on the left back position, like technical. I mean, this guy, I see that potential in him to be like for
It's
us on the right hand side.
an interesting point of view. I'll try and see what we can see out of that in the preseason game afterwards. I'll take that in.
Yeah, I mean, like I see a few similarities in him and Guardiola, and then again, like I said, because again he has the potential to be a centre back as well. So he literally have that physique,
Mhm.
to be in that position. Again, good signing. I would say good signing because again this guy can be versatile, this guy is fast, this guy is young. Okay, he's Ariso. I wouldn't have minded, but again I would say we have gone a level up in this one with Marc Pubill. Moving on to the next one, so David Hancko and Marc Pubill, do let us know, guys, do let us know your opinions about these two players, like how excited you are for these two signings, and or would you have preferred something else, for example Renato Viega instead of David Hancko, or his RSO instead of Marc Pubill. I think no one would say that they would prefer his RSO, to be honest. But yeah, still, let us know your opinions. What do you guys think about it? Okay, in the comment section. And moving on to the next one, I would say some departures from our club. Let's start with Rodrigo De Paul, because again, I've been talking about this. We talked about him in the last video as well, which was a loan option. This one again, I mean, like, still not really like clarified. I would say again the same thing, 15 million fixed.
Mhm.
Rest depends. Again, we still don't know if it's like it's a loan option or it's like a permanent transfer, like what exactly is it. But we can definitely confirm is Rodrigo De Paul is leaving Atletico de Madrid, and soon we might see a like official announcement as well. And Rodrigo De Paul, again, he's 31 now, and this is a really weird one. He had like one of the best season with us, uh, and then he's already on the move. But I would say it's okay actually. Like we bought him for around what, like 35, 25, 35. I think still getting 15 out of it, like at the age of 31, I think it's still a good deal. And I think like we've signed enough creators in our midfield options now, because I was just checking the lineups in the training session as well. Thiago Almada is actually replacing Rodrigo De Paul in that position. So we do have enough creators in our midfield right now. So I think, yeah, I mean, like it feels like a good deal. 15 million for Rodrigo De Paul. Thank you so much for your memories. Thank you so much for you know uh, literally getting in opponents' faces, especially Vinicius, and also I remember getting the face of Ronaldo as well when you played Man United. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, like Rodrigo de Paul, I really liked him at Atletico de Madrid. Like, I don't have any, like hate against him or anything. I loved him throughout the season. It's just that Club World Cup, his level dropped way too much. That's
Awful.
it. Otherwise, exactly. Otherwise, like I love this guy, Rodrigo de Paul, because again, like we need these kind of players. We need those bully kind of players. Right now, we're looking for more. Let's see. Hopefully, David Hancko can be one of those. And again, Marc Pubill as well. Like I see that, like he has that attitude as well.
Yeah, Letty Jean.
Exactly, he had that attitude as well. Johnny Cardo's another guy. That's why I would have loved Renato Viega. I mean, like I still love. I hope it happens. Renato Viega, that guy. I'm telling you, Sinki, that guy will eat people in La Liga. I'm telling you, once he lands. But anyway, moving on to Rodrigo de Paul. Your thoughts on Rodrigo de Paul Saint Kicks? Then we'll move to the next one.
Um, I'll keep it brief because we both talked about DePaul over the past like 2, 3 videos. So it's nice. I think he's a really charismatic guy. I have mixed views on him myself because he's a frustrating player to watch because you'll see games and especially stretches where you'll be like, oh, easily top 5 midfielder in Europe, if not like in La Liga, if not Europe, right? He's had, especially this season where he looked imperial, he looked fantastic. But when you look at his time at the 4 years now, it's like sometimes you're good, sometimes you're really not. And then you have a lot of weird off the pitch tendencies. Randomly, he was in like a really bad form, and then we found out he was having an affair. I was like, why is this news that we have to find out about? And then I think there was that time where they had talked about he had asked the club to stay in Argentina so he could be with his father, who was, I think he was ill. And then he turned up, and we saw pictures of him with Tini, like literally the next day, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's not cool. That's actually really not cool at all. Got into a huge set of trouble. We've never had that from a player before, but um, I don't know. There's always something with the Paul. There's some kind of news. He's a great guy. I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't know these players, but it's just as a football fan, as an Atleti fan, watching him sometimes really good, sometimes really not. I don't want to say the famous Gattuso phrase, but that Gattuso phrase. So yeah, I'm happy for his time. It's unfortunate we didn't win any trophies with him, but I wish you the best, and I hope you enjoy Miami. It's a really nice place.
You wow. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, like Miami is definitely a nice place. It's one of the places on my bucket list as well. But yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on to our next departure from the club, which is Saul, an absolute legend of the club. And I mean, what should I even say? I think like if I say about Saul, like the memories this guy has given me is a lot. Like I remember that bicycle kick against Real Madrid, and then I also remember like like him getting injured in that Bayer Leverkusen game, and then him coming back and scoring that curler against Bayer Leverkusen as well from outside the box. And then especially I think like every Atletico de Madrid fan would remember that goal against Bayern Munich, that solo run which helped us go into the finals of the Champions League. And I mean that was like a goal for a lifetime, I would say, because that I think that for every Atletico de Madrid fan, everyone remembers that goal of Saul
The
dribbling
against
past
Bayern,
players,
yeah.
exactly dribbling past players, and then just like having a nice walk in the park on a Sunday morning. It just went like that. And I think Saul was a really, I think I would say, what do you call it? Like one of those main pillars in athletic midfield for a long time for Simeone. I think the decline happened after like when we won the La Liga in 2021 season. I think then he started to decline a little bit. And then I think what really killed him was that move to Chelsea. I think that was not a good move for me, to be honest, because I think he could have moved anywhere to, like, reignite his career, except Chelsea, because Chelsea literally ruined him, I would say, because he had a few mistakes in Premier League, and then like he didn't played at all. So I think with Chelsea, like, it really got bad, and then again with us, he just got a few games as well, and then eventually, like, we loaned him out to Sevilla, and now again, I mean, this transfer also happened with a 180-degree turn, almost done to Trabzonspor in Turkey, and then suddenly he's going to Brazil with Felipe Luis. I mean, like, I'm happy, like, he's they're having a reunion, I would say, with Felipe Luis, going back to those good old days. But again, this guy has given us so many memories. Saul, like, he was one of the best midfielders in the world at one point, and this guy, I remember, like, perfect. Like, I've seen him score so many headers, uh, those curlers outside the box, and then just coming out of nowhere. And like, he was that perfect Simeone kind of a midfielder, Saul. And I'm really happy for him, actually. Like, finally he can he's moving forward, and then an absolute legend, I would say, for the club. I have nothing but praise for this guy. Your thoughts on this, Saint Keeks?
I think it's the same kind of feeling where it's kind of sad because it feels like it's almost like our third time of Saul leaving. Was he Chelsea? Is he Sevilla? We thought it was done last year. Now it's like for real. It's definitive. Now it's gone. Like he's not coming back. It's kind of weird in that sense where it's like, is he here? Is he not here? But in terms of how long I've known Saul, almost as long as I've known Korea, and it's like Korea has been around since who knows how long now. So it's this weird situation where there's a lot of memories. There's a lot of really good memories over the years. I wouldn't say Saul's decline happened so late as 2021. I think it was almost a guarantee because the season before and even before that, when he got that big injury with kidney, you kind of saw the eventual decline. It didn't happen immediately, but you saw the eventual decline. And then he decided to become a vegan. I don't know what that was about. But no hate to any vegans. It's just being a vegan and playing football seems like a not a great diet mix. But you saw the energy levels
I mean,
change.
I
You
mean,
saw
is
how
is this term, like, if you're an athlete, like, you can't stay vegan. If any athlete says, like, he's a vegan, like, he's lying literally. But again, like, some do stays
hey,
vegan, I would say.
some
But
people can do it. I'm not
yeah,
gonna
but
tell them if
again,
they can or can't. But if you're recovering from a very big injury, and I think if you with a great injuries, it's like in terms of how bad they are, it's like there's muscle injuries, which are the least in terms of like common, not that bad, and then you have ligament injuries, and then you have ligament and bone, and then you have like organ, like any like in that organ order, and it's like he got an organ injury, which is one of the worst things, like an internal injury, really hard to recover from. I don't think we ever really saw Saul's proper level after that big injury. He didn't immediate, as I said, he didn't immediately come off, but it's like it felt like a sad moment, even in the title-winning season where he kind of lost the starting place to Lamar and Llorente. You know, I think
yeah, but again, like, he was performing well, I would say.
he
Like,
was
coming off the
performing
bench,
well.
I mean, like, he was scoring goals, providing assists. So he was performing well, I
But
would
the
say. Like,
reason why
still,
he left was he felt frustration of the fact that he was no longer a starter. He was not that wasn't a guarantee anymore, and the fact that you couldn't guarantee it kind of is a bit sad. But it's like it kind of meant that yeah, you need to go elsewhere. I don't like Tuchel for what he did to Saul. Like you immediately starting him off without any preseason, no time at all. He looked so lost, and I was just like, that. I how could you humiliate Saul like this? Like of all of the players in Europe, like one of the best ever. And it's like, all right. But I wish him the best. I'm gonna be watching Flamengo anyway for Felipe Luis, so I'll be watching Saul. So, yeah, I think it's a bit sad, but again, I don't know. Like mentally, this is like the third time he's leaving, so I've already gotten over it.
true,
Like
true. I mean, like,
you can't be
most of the
sad because
fans,
you're an
yeah,
ex-person.
most of the fans were like, the first time he left for Chelsea, most of the fans, I think, like, they hate it at that time. But then now it's just like, like they're getting used to it. So yeah. But
Yeah,
again, this time it's like he's gone.
yeah.
He's not coming back. So yeah. So anyway,
Big breakup.
exactly, a big break. Absolute legend of the club, I would say. Like for example, for our generation as well. He was one of the best midfielders alongside Koke, Saul. If I see any like Gabi, you can say Gabi, Koke, and
It
Saul.
should have been. It should have been different, man. It could have been Cookie, Saul, and Rodri in our midfield right now. You know what I mean? It could have been so different, but it just didn't work out like it was supposed to.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you don't have to bring up Rodri. We have Cardoso, man. Like, what the hell? But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, guys, do let us know your opinions. What do you think about this absolute legend of the club, Saul, leaving us? And yeah, do let us know in the comment section. Moving on to the next one, which is the rumors. Now, rumors are, I would say, I only have two players for you guys this time, which is Nahuel Molina and Samolino. Nahuel Molina, there are talks for him to go to, some are saying Nottingham Forest. They're interested in him. And then there are some for Juventus as well. And then there are some, I mean, it's mostly in Syria, but like in Premier League, this I only see Nottingham Forest interested in him. And again, Athletic is demanding around 20 to 25, I guess, which I think is a nice price. I mean, like we can literally cover Marc Pubill with that payment. And then let's see about Nahuel Molina. There's this bizarre rumor about Dusan Vlahovic, like in a swap deal with Nahuel Molina. I mean, there's no way that's happening. I mean, like I remember this guy Dusan Vlahovic. Like I think we did, like went after him when I think it was
Same year we got
before.
Cunha, I think it was.
Yeah, I think yeah. Atleti offered around 60, I guess 60, 65. It was in the Gazzetta Italia. Atleti offered 60, 65, and then like Fiorentina, they declined it, and City made an offer as well for Dusan Vlahovic, and then Fiorentina declined as well, and then the next season they sold him to Juventus. I mean, so fucking stupid. Like, why would you like sell
In
him to your
between
rivals?
January, they said
Exactly.
no to 60. So it's 50 fixed and 10 add-ons. They said no, and they sold him for 70. And I was just
It,
like 6 months later. I was
exactly.
like, all right, cool.
It was so stupid. Like, what do you sell him to your rivals as well? Like, especially in the middle of the season. But yeah, anyway, Dusan Vlahovic ended up in Juventus, and I would say like he hasn't really like hit the ground running at Juventus. I would say, but this again, this I mean we're not here to talk about Juventus obviously, but again this talk about Nahuel Molina for Dusan Vlahovic doesn't make sense to me at all. First of all, again we don't have any non-European sports left now because David Hancko is gonna take up, and then I don't think Dusan Vlahovic have another passport as well. So again,
Slovakia counts as a European country, no? They're
I
part
have
of the
no
EU, yeah?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But I think Serbia. Dusan Vlahovic would play for Serbia. I think.
I'm not. Serbia is not a part of the EU, but I'm not sure if they count as a non-European. I don't think he counts as a European spot. I think he is a non-European. Don't sue me for that though. That's just from what I know so far. But I know Serbia is not a part of the European Union. That's what I do know. I think Slovakia. I think Slovakia is a part of the Euro, and so Hanko should be fine.
Okay, I mean, good for us then. Good for. But anyway, Dusan
But
Vlahovic.
we're
I don't
still
think
on
that's
four.
happening.
We're on four.
Exactly.
We can't swap Molina, who is a non-European, which we're trying to get down to, and then find somebody who is also a non-European. That doesn't make sense, you know?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense at all. And then again, like I think like now Molina went. I think the reason we're selling him is again because of those non-European spots as well. Which I think again, Dusan Vlahovic doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like we already have Sorlot. It's literally, I mean, like I would say, I'd rather prefer Sorlot than Dusan Vlahovic if you'll ask me, because
Mm.
this guy hasn't like really like this guy just looks like he's like he's a bit cocky, like because he's not the kind of a player he was at Fiorentina. Because at Fiorentina he was really good, but at Juventus like he is not the same player. And I mean, like again, it's not like he's it's literally the same profile as Sorlot, but I'd rather prefer Sorlot. So this doesn't make any sense. So I don't think Dusan Lahovic will join us or anything. And then, but yeah, again, Nahal Molina, I can see him leaving for either Premier League or Serie A teams. I rather hope it's a Premier League team, for example, Nottingham Forest or someone,
Mm.
because again, they can pay us 20 to 25. That's the only reason I'll rather, like prefer a
That's
move
the only
to,
reason.
yeah, like, I prefer a move for him to Premier League. But then next thing, the next rumor is Samolino. Samolino again. So we're asking for around 20 to 25 for Samolino as well. I mean, the left hand side is pretty sorted, I would say, with Thiago Almada can play as well, Alex Baena can play as well. We have Rogeri as well, and then so Samolino, and we're looking for a dribbler as well. So Samolino, I mean, like Atleti is trying to cash to make some cash from him, and I think. I mean, like, look, if we can 30 million for Samlino, like, I don't have any grudges. Like, you're fine. Like, like, if you can make good money out of it, then I think you should go for it. Again, I would say a top guy. But I would say, again, I mean, like, 30 million for him, I think we should sell him because, again, we have to, like, upgrade as well. Samlino, I would have loved him to have that extra year to, like, just to prove himself for this season. But I think that's not going to be the case again. So we have Napoli interested, we have Premier League clubs interested, we have, I think, most probably Wolves interested as well. Again, I'd rather prefer a move to Premier League just because of the money factor. Your thoughts on Samolino and Naul Molina, St. Kicks?
um, I think, as you said, the writing's kind of on the wall for the situation. I think Molina, he's supposed to get his. I feel bad for him a little bit because it's like he's supposed to get his Spanish passport in like January. So it's just like it's just bad timing. It's like we needed non-EU spots, and he's just not up to the cut anymore. But it does look like he's on his way out. Um, I think, as we said before, he wasn't really, in my eyes, somebody who was a priority person to leave. I think we needed other positions before we needed to go for it. But again, I'm not upset at all with Marc Pubill. I think that's a really good substitute and a really good person to replace him with, especially in terms of the long term aspects of it. And also, Pubill adds that other dimension of the height, which can be really scary in the box as well as outside of it. So it's like one of the things I think nobody will defend with Molina is he's always been kind of bad when it came to off the ball behind. If you cross the ball, there's a runner behind him, he may not be aware of it, and that was always a theme. Even when he was at his best, that was always a bad trait that he had, and so that kind of changes a little bit with Pubill being as tall as he is. That kind of, but the I hope that he goes to Juventus, not because of the money, but more so because I just hope that he plays some Champions League football and I hope he'll do well. But also, I don't know. Juve fans are a little weird. Maybe not. Maybe he should go to Premier League team. Maybe they'll hate on him, and I don't want them to hate on him. Uh, maybe he should go to a Premier League team. Nottingham Forest is going to be in Europe, so there's also that as well. So I just hope he does well in another place. It's a shame it didn't work out, but it does seem like the writing is on the wall, and it seems like his time is up. For Lino, I feel really bad because I think he's shown us already that he has a really high level, and he could get to even higher level if we just give him time, and we just don't want to give him time because we have other plans, it seems. I I think this was one of the, outside of the other reasons, this is another major reason why I was not a fan of the Almada deal, because why are you signing a non-EU player when we already fully stocked up? And I I felt like if you're trying to look at Romero or Hincapié or these other things, you can't have it if Almeida is coming. It means you're gonna have to sell two players, and you can't guarantee the sales of Molina. Even though we're talking about it right now, but there's a genuine possibility that neither of them leave, and then you're just left in a mess. You know what I mean? So uh, I feel bad that they're leaving. I feel very attached to these players in terms of these other things. But again, I wish them the best. I hope Lino does somehow manage to stay. I hope he somehow gets a Spanish passport in time and it all works out. But it does seem like the writing is on the wall. It's about that time, and I think he'll explode wherever he goes. I think wherever he goes, he'll do well, especially So yeah.
True. I think Premier League is still like a very, very suitable place for him. I think the kind of a player he is.
Hmm.
But anyway, moving on to the last rumor, I would say this came, I think, a day before or a day before yesterday. I don't really remember. So, like when the talks were going on for Ademola Lookman. So, the rumor was like if he can't get Ademola Lookman, we'll go for Matias Fernandez Pardo. And I would say this is literally BS. I'm gonna call BS on that. Literally bullshit. Because what the fuck? Seriously, Matias Fernandez Pardo. I mean, like, are you kidding me? I mean, if you're looking for a player, like a second option instead of Ademola Lookman, you should look for someone like who's really, really good. Ademola Lookman is in his prime. He's a really good player. Matias Fernandez Pardo. I mean, what? Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, I mean, we already have Thiago Almada. Like, why do we need him? If you want to
Mm.
go for someone like, like, if not Ademola Lookman, go for another person, again, who has experience. And again, you're looking for a dribbler. The main point is that dribbler, not someone. I mean, like, then what's the point? Like, keep Lino then.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how true it is, as you said before, because it feels a little. It's like every time so far, our transfer season has been, if we don't get our main target, besides Cardoso and Bayern, we don't get our main target, we're going to the second option is almost always better than the first option, right? Ruggieri, Pubill, I don't know. I'm not gonna say 100% with Hancko, but Hancko and these other players, and it's like all of these players have been players who kind of do fit our team a little bit better and make a lot more sense in terms of the profilings and other things. When you look at Mateus, I can't say what is his last name?
Matias Fernandez Pardo.
Matias Fernandez Pardo. Not as good. We played against him in Lille. I don't really remember much about his cameo. I remember Zigrova. I remember Jonathan David. I remember the imaginary penalty. I don't remember him. You know what I mean?
Exactly, it doesn't make sense. I mean, like, I hope. I mean, like, I know, like, it's just like one rumor. Like, like, didn't, let's say, like, nothing build up after that. It was just a rumor. I just hope it remains a rumor, nothing else. Because
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, one other
Okay.
thing though is I think one thing that I think leads a little negative credence to the Molina Vlahovic situation is Vlahovic ridiculous salary. Vlahovic is earning 22 million gross in salary right now, right? Which is around, I'm not sure what the exact taxation in Italy is. You can, I don't know if you know that offhand, but I think it's
Never paid any tax. Never paid any tax.
but I think that's around like 12 million net, if not a bit more. We can't pay that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a person who particularly cares about salaries. Like, whatever the club is willing to pay is whatever the club is willing to pay. That's not my thing. But you cannot have a salary that is higher than Oblak or Alvarez in our team unless you are better than either of them. And I don't think you're better than either of them. So we have to just, that's just a random thing I just have to put on that last part. But we move on.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And yeah, there you go, guys. Finally, we have covered everything which was going on this week. There might be more while we do the next video because again, we still have some Molina and Al Molina, let's say, their departures, and then Rodrigo de Paul. I think it'll be. I think it's done only. It'll be officially announced soon. And again, we have to keep an eye on Renato Viega as well because again, I really hope we sign him. I
I
mean,
hope so too.
let's see about that one. And then so Enrique Cerezo, he just had an interview. I was just reading about his interview. He
Oh,
said
here
like
he goes
yeah,
again.
yeah. So like he said like we are done in the transfer market. Like we won't make any more signings.
No, we know how fact we're gonna sign like three players. There he
Exactly,
goes.
exactly. Go for the opposite of what Enrique Cerezo says. But yeah, I mean, I know like we are still in the market, and certainly I feel much better about Carlos Buquero. I mean, might make like make his bald head on my over here a tattoo over here. Just because the transfer window he's having. Because again, I mean, like guys, this guy actually he proved me wrong. actually, because this guy has went berserk. It's like someone slapped his bald head or something, because this guy literally went into, like, like he took things seriously. Someone
Hmm.
actually hurt his feelings. And if again, Carlos Buquero, I don't know, like, if somehow like this video reaches to you, like, thank you so much for this amazing transfer window we're having, and especially the fact that the things are going so fast as well. So I mean, new time at Atletico de Madrid, and especially like because we're signing new players, we sign the players before the season starts, we sign the players in pre-season as well,
Hmm.
and we're investing in youth, so that's good to see. Until then, I would say, and anything you want to add, Saint Keeks, before we finish it off?
No, I think we'll do another thing where we talk more in detail in another podcast episode. It's nothing for now.
All right, so guys, do let us know your opinions in the comment section. Like we really love like when you guys have your opinions, and like, let us know your what do you guys think as well. And also make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Help us reach 500. I mean, come on, like the transfers are going on. We're still stuck on 300 something. You have to help us reach 500, and we'll see you guys until next time. Until then, Opa Atleti.